Let's check in with a guy that is always happy, peppy, and bursting with love, as Steve Johnson would say, and that is our good friend Dan Wooding. He heads up with Assist News, and you go to assistnews.net and sign up for his emails that come out on a regular basis. A faith-based organization, so support them as they bring you news stories from all over the world. But look at that smiling, happy, lovey face there this morning.
He's bursting with love.
Hey, Dan, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, thanks. Yeah, you sound like you're having some amazing weather there.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's Oregon. Come on up. This is where we have skin between our toes. Hey, come on up. Hey, listen, you and the late Cliff Barrows were buddies, huh?
Yes, you know, I began my career in journalism working for the Billie Graham Association in London on their newspaper, and one of the people I got to know very well, and it's continued over the years, is Cliff Barrows. And sadly, last Tuesday, he passed away at the age of 93. But I got a couple of rather amazing stories from Cliff during the times I've interviewed him. And the very first time he told me about in 1945, he married Billie Newell. That was his wife there. They were on their honeymoon in North Carolina, and they met a young evangelist named Billie Graham. And eventually, as we know, Cliff joined the Billie Graham Association. He used to form the choirs for them, and also he would conduct the congregational singing. But he told me that back in 1991, Billie got cancer, and then eventually she died around Christmas time, 1994. But he didn't realize what she'd done. And so it was the following Valentine's Day. He's going into a hotel in Auburn in California, and he's handed an envelope. And inside was a Valentine's card from his wife. And before she died, she'd given the card to her daughter. Her daughter knew where Cliff would be, and that's a lovely picture of Billie there with Cliff Barrows. And in it, she gave a wonderful Valentine's message. And he told me, he said it was like receiving a Valentine's card from heaven. And so he lost his first wife. Then he married another lady called Anne. And most people who know Cliff or know of Cliff maybe didn't realize that he went blind in his later years, but he wanted to continue presenting the Hour of Decision show. And because he couldn't see, couldn't even drive anymore, his second wife, Anne, would sit with him in the studio and read the part of the script to him. Then he would make the announcement. They'd stop the recorder. And eventually she would recite the whole script to him a bit at a time. And he was still able to continue almost to the end doing the Hour of Decision. So what a dramatic story Cliff has had, and we certainly miss him.
Well, he was a terrific guy, and by Billie Graham's side all of those years. Wow. Well, listen, give us an update on what's happening in Nigeria and the persecution there. There's been some pretty bad reports coming out of there.
Yes, you know, there are two awful groups there, Perry. One is called the Boko Haram, which is affiliated with ISIS, but there's another group with the strange name of the Fulani herdsmen, and these are vicious terrorists who graze their cattle in various parts of northern Nigeria. That's the part of Nigeria where I was born. And we've just learned that they've murdered another 45 dead Christians in that area. We see a picture of them here on the rampage going into a Christian village. And this time they attacked 5 villages in an area called Kaduna State. Most of the victims were women, children, and elderly. They couldn't escape the gunfire of the attackers. And they also attacked 120 houses, and they burnt them down. They burnt down 8 house churches. And the violence is continuing. They were armed with guns, knives, machetes, and explosives. So please pray for Nigeria, and please pray against these people called the Fulani herdsmen.
Let me say to our viewers and listeners, Dan heads up Assist News. You can go to assistnews.net. sign up for the emails that come out, and you'll get quite a few every day, reports of what's happening around the world and what some Christians are going through with their faith, like in Nigeria and other places. So you can go to assistnews.net. You can sign up. The subscription is free. And support him because he is a faith-based organization. Thank you, Dan, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your whole family. Okay, buddy?
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.